Dividing real numbers. All right, so same rules as multiplication. If I'm dividing a negative by a negative, if the signs are the same, then the answer is positive. So negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. All right. If the signs are different, if one is a negative, the other is a positive, or vice versa, then the answer will be negative. So negative 28 divided by 7 is negative 4. So integers, straightforward. Just remember, the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. Okay, dividing fractions. We use keep it, change it, flip it. That is, we multiply by the reciprocal. So the first fraction, we keep it. So negative 2/9 stays as negative 2/9. We keep it. Division, we change it to multiplication. And then we flip it. Now in this case, we have an mixed number. So let's back up a little bit. We have a mixed number. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change that mixed number into an improper fraction. So let's before we do our keep it, change it, flip it, let's do that. So this will be 3 times 5, that's 15, plus 2 is 17. So this is negative 17 fifths. All right, so negative 17 fifths is 3 2/5, is negative 3 2/5. Now we're going to keep it, change it, flip it. So keep it, the first fraction, we're going to keep it the same. So it stays negative 2/9. Change it, division, we change it to multiplication. Flip it, we find the reciprocal by flipping it. So we change the order of the numerator and the denominator. So negative 17 fifths becomes negative 5/17. Make sure you keep the sign the same when you flip it. We're just changing the numerator and denominator. Now we have a multiplication problem, and we know how to multiply fractions. So first off, we see a negative times a negative. We know the answer is going to be positive, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we just multiply numerator times the numerator. So this is 2 times 5 over denominator times denominator, 9 times 17. All right, so 2 times 5 is 10. And 9 times 17 is mental math. So that's 9 times 10 plus 9 times 7. 9 times 10 is 90. 9 times 7 is 63. So 63 plus 90 gives us 153. And that is our answer. 10 153rds. All right, another problem. So first step, we can change this improper fraction into a change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So this will be negative 3/2 divided by, so let's see. This will be 3 times 7, that's 21, plus 3, that's 24. So this is 24, this is negative 24/7. All right, it's a little sloppy. Negative 24/7 like that. Put that in parentheses. And then to divide fractions, again, we keep it, change it, flip it. So the first fraction, we keep it the same. So this is negative 3/2. Division, we change it to multiplication. And then the second fraction, we flip it. We find the reciprocal of it. So this becomes negative 7/24. Then we multiply. Off top, we know the answer is positive because a negative times a negative is a positive. So then we just multiply numerator times the numerator. So that's 3 times 7. And then denominator times denominator. That's 2 times 24. All right. So we can simplify here because 3 goes into 24 8 times. So we can simplify. So this becomes a 1. This becomes an 8. All right. So essentially now we have 1 times 7 over 2 times 8. So that saves us a little bit of work. So then we simplify 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 8 is 16. And we're done. 7/16. And finally, we have division with decimals. So let's make ourselves some room and do this problem. Okay. 8.4 divided by negative 4.1. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this is equal to something negative, negative something, because a positive divided by a negative I know is a negative. So I've already dealt with the sign aspect of the problem. Now I'm just going to divide. So this is 8.4 divided by 4.1, and that's going to look something like this. So let me come over here. So that's going to be 4.1 divided into 8.4. But in this case, because I have a decimal in my divisor, I have to get rid of that decimal. And I'm going to do that by moving my decimal point in the divisor over 1 to the right, and also moving the decimal point in my dividend 1 to the right, so that the equation becomes this. The problem becomes this. It becomes 41 divided into 84. Right? So essentially, I multiplied this by 10. All right. So if you can think about it like this, if the problem was 8.4 divided by 4.1 written like this, I essentially multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 10. 10 over 10 is 1. That doesn't change the problem. So it becomes 84 divided by 41. So that's what we have here. So then we divide. Okay. So let's see. 41 is going to go into 84 2 times, because 2 times 41 gives me 82. So that's 82. We subtract and we get 2. Then I'm going to add my decimal point here, because 84 is the same as 84.0. And then I'm going to bring that 0 right on down. And this becomes a 20. And then I say, okay, how many times does 41 go into 20? Well, that's 0. 41 goes into 20 0 times. So I'm going to put a 0 here. 0 times 41 is 0. I subtract, I get 20. Then I can annex another 0. Annex that 0, and then I bring it down. So this becomes a 200 now. So 41 into 200. Let's see. I'm going to try 4 times. Okay. And this is where your scratch paper comes in handy. So 41 times 4 is 164. Let's see, if I added 41 to that, that would give me 205, which is too big. So that 4 is correct. So 41 times 4 is 164. All right, and then we subtract that. And so let's see, that's going to be 36. All right, I'm just thinking about what I need to add to this to get it to 200. So that's 36. And I can annex another 0 and bring it down. So this becomes 360. All right, and I think 41 will go into that 8 times. And so 41 times 8 is 328. And then I subtract. 360 minus 328 is 32. And I'm going to round this answer to the thousandths place. So I'm going to go one more time so that I can properly round this number to the thousandths place. So that was 32. I'm going to bring down another 0, and that's 320. All right, and so I think that 341 will go into that 7 times, I believe. And 41 times 7 gives me 287. And then I subtract, so 320 minus 287 is 33. But I'm going to go ahead and stop there because, like I said, I'm just going to round this to the thousandths place. So if I round it to the thousandths place, I see in the 10,000ths place I have a 7. So therefore, this rounds up to a 9. So this is, instead of equals here, I'm going to put this is approximately equal to negative 2.049. Okay, that is their answer here, rounded to the thousandths place. All right, so there you have it. That's what we get. That is how we divide with real numbers.